Hi, my name is Beth Azor, and I own shopping centers in South Florida. And this is my podcast, I Own a Shopping Center, Now What? So today I want to speak about the authority and control that you have as the owner of your shopping center. So here's the story. I got a call today from a young man who said he wanted to open a cigar shop and possibly cigar and wine. Love that idea. And I said, are you sure it's a cigar shop and not a smoke shop? Because probably like you, I get 5 calls a week from smoke shops. And as you know by now, I would not do a smoke shop or a vape shop in my property. So he assures me that it is a cigar shop, cigars only. And I said, have you ever had one before? And he said, yes, in California. And I said, do you have one in South Florida? And he said, yes. And he told me the address. So while I was at my laptop at the time that I'm on the phone, so I'm Googling to try to see pictures. And then, of course, he starts elaborating or, adding to the story. Well, it might not be cigars right now. It might have some vape in there, right? So I said, well, I would only be interested if it was cigars only. And then, of course, I would, the wine would be great. Because I'm envisioning an upscale cigar shop, with $50 cigars, which, you guys know I love high-priced items to draw in people with high disposable income. So he said, I would like to do wine, but I'd need to get a license. And I said, I understand. So then a couple hours, so we set up an appointment for me to show him space tomorrow. So then about 20 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, I get a call from a broker. He leaves a voice message. I was in another appointment. And he goes, you talked to my client. I understand we have a showing tomorrow. So I called the broker back and I said, because I have another showing, I wasn't sure who this broker was representing. And he said, I'm representing, this person with the cigar shop. And here is a very interesting question. He said, I wanted to make sure you allowed that. So I said, well, it's just going to be a cigar shop, right? And he said, yes, just a cigar shop. I said, not a smoke shop, not a vape shop. And he said, no. I said, okay, yes. And so we have the showing tomorrow at noon. But I was in the area of the location that the guy had told me earlier that he had another location. So I texted the broker, what's the location of, what's the address of his other location? And the broker didn't respond. And then I texted the prospect, the owner of the cigar shop, and he gave me the address. And it was literally 3 miles of where I was. So as we all should, if possible, go see the other location before you have the showing. I think you guys have heard of my pet store story before, where there was a big sign in the window. If not, I'll say it on the next podcast. So I zip over and find the location, and sure as shit, it's a vape store, of course, right? Excuse my French. I walk in, and there's 2 guys sitting there, and, one guy stands up, can I help you? I said, no, I'm just looking. And there's a place in the back that's got like a small cigar humidor area, but it's all vape and pipes and bongs and everything. So I leave and I type, to the prospect, stopped in, saw the location, not interested. And he said, oh, was that you? I mean, of course it was me. I just asked you for the address. So he said, can you come back? It's not going to be like this. I said, no, I'm already in the car on the way. I've got another showing I've got to get back for. And so then I just said, let's cancel the meeting. I don't want to get into any kind of argument with you on, or a lawsuit where you're going to tell me that you're just going to do cigars, but you're going to do something else. So then I texted the broker and I said, we need to cancel the meeting. And then the broker called me and they're trying to bully me, why won't you meet with us? We told you we're not going to do this. And I said, look, if he opens another location, he says he wants to open multiple locations, let him open somewhere else first. I'm happy to go check it out. And then we can talk. But for right now, the example of what he's giving me and what he's operating is nothing I'm interested in doing. And I'm sorry. So very funny. And so I just hung up with the broker and he said, I understand. So while I've been talking to you and doing this podcast, I've been getting slammed by the tenant, by the prospect. So when I finish the podcast, I'll look and see what he's been telling me in these texts, and I will let you know next week what happens. But my point is, no one should bully you into thinking that you have an obligation to lease to them if you don't like the use. You own the multi-million-dollar shopping center. It's your decision. I think that sometimes owners of properties, especially some of us that have gone from residential into commercial, there's definitely certain laws in residential about redlining, not being prejudiced, all this stuff. That's not the case in commercial. We can pick and choose who we want to lease to all day long. So as far as use is concerned. So that's my story of the day. We need to understand who we're leasing to and what the product is that they want to bring into the shopping center. And as much as possible, seeing their other location is crucial. I don't need to meet with them tomorrow. I know what's going on here, especially, when you think about it, that the broker called me and said, are you sure you're okay with the use? So the last thing I want is for them to open up quote unquote cigar store and it's a vape and CBD. And now I've got to spend legal money suing them because they did not put in the store what the lease clause says, right? So that's the lesson for today. You are the authority, and no one, not a broker, not a prospect, no one can bully you into doing what you know is not good for the center. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk with you next week. Share, subscribe, and all that jazz.